So this is going to be about Burn the Stage episode 5. I can't believe it's already episode 5. I didn't make a video for 3 or 4 because I was super busy, but I did watch them. I just felt like I was so far behind that I should just move forward as opposed to going back. Anyways, I did watch this episode the day it came out, so don't remember everything. I do have it in my notes, but if I forget something, just leave it in the comments so that we can freak out about it. Anyways, so this episode kind of started off with RM. He let us in. I feel like he leads us into almost every episode, actually, now that I'm thinking back on it. Doesn't he? But anyways, he was talking about being afraid of checking the internet because he's afraid of criticism, that people will even tell him, like, your album's doing so well in sales, or this photo shoot went so well, or things like that, or your performance was so amazing. But he's afraid of criticism, so he doesn't check it. And I totally understand that. Like, I think we could all understand that. It's kind of like, not totally like this, but I think about it when I write a paper or something, or I take a test and the grade goes into the computer so you can like go home and check it, but I'm too afraid to check it because I'm a student, so that's kind of like my thing, but he's an artist, so that's his thing. If you get what I'm saying, does that make sense? I don't know. But anyways, he talks about how the love and recognition that he gets from his work is what helped him gain self-acceptance, and which is why he continues to do this. And that is so beautiful. It's like everyone's love for him is what is making him love himself. Like, the fact that people appreciate his work, which is something that he's always wanted to do, is what's making him love himself more and gaining more self-acceptance. And that's just super sweet. And then he said he wants to write songs to the people going through the same thing, to tell them that it's okay. And I think he said, my songs can make you feel sad, or my songs can make you feel happy, but when you put it all together, I just want you to know, or gain from my music, the knowledge that everything is going to be okay. We just have to keep going on with our lives, and somehow it will work out. Why do you have to throw us into like the super deep intro? I was not prepared for all this, and it was in black and white and everything, so I was like, ugh. Okay, so then we kind of go into this, and it's them talking about how the stage is too narrow, 2 to 3 meters, and I think that's their choreographer, and they're discussing how they're going to put on this performance, because you know their performances are like a lot of action, a lot of moves. How they're going to put on this performance on a stage that is way smaller than what they are used to. And it's a lot of discussion. It looks like they're practicing it in a hotel room, or discussing it in a hotel room. And they're worried that they won't be able to give it their all because they won't have as much space. They may have to like condense the moves, be closer, probably cut some things out, change certain moves. So they're worried that they're not going to be able to give it their all. And then we have Jimin and J-Hope were talking about being anxious. And Jimin said he gets nervous and panics when things are different than what he is used to. So he's, how do I word this? I think he said if his belt is different than what he's used to, he'll panic. Because it's kind of like a reliability, something you can lean on. What is that word? A security blanket. It's kind of like a security blanket to have everything the same. Or you know when like athletes won't wash their jersey for a long time because they were winning straight championships or something like that. I think it's the same thing in regards to this. Like, he needs things to be the same, or he freaks out that he's going to mess up or something's going to be different. And I think we've seen a lot in these episodes that Jimin, it seems like he has a lot of anxiety towards performing based off of how others will view him and his performance. So he wants to make sure everything he does is perfect. I think even JK said Jimin was the one always practicing before they made their debut when they were trainees. And my love for Jimin. He is just such a beautiful soul. So then Suga said that he's not the best dancer, but he feels good when he performs because he knows that he can get his meaning across through his performance. And this is a funny shot. He's like, whoa. But he says he's worried that people will see all of their mistakes and not know that the size of their stage is why they're making these mistakes. Like, he's like, we can give our 100%, 120 or 150% of what we have, but because the stage is so small, we won't be able to show you everything. So he's worried that when people watch this at home, they're going to be like, he messed up that dance move, or why isn't this like it usually is when they're on, when they perform blah blah blah, why is it so different? And he's saying people won't realize that because they don't know that they're not working with what they usually have to work with. And I think that's something we have to take into consideration more. Like, I never thought about that, like the size of a stage. It's not something that goes through our minds, but it's obviously something that was stressing them out, like anxiety level. And then they're worried about this because this is their first TV show performance in America, and it's a place of history and honor. And I think the choreographer? He talked about that. He was like, I mean, we could say we can't do it, but this place has like 30 years of history, so this is something you need to think about. Is this the choreographer? Because he like was dropping, he was so good. Like, the way he was approaching everything was just so good, and I appreciate him so much. But I also was seeing this really, once they said that, it showed me why they had such anxiety, because I was like, is this their first time performing on a small stage? Why are they this anxious about it? But then I saw that this is their first performance in America. So this is basically the start of how everyone is going to view them based off of this performance. And then I was dead because they performed Save Me on this super tiny stage. And it's my, Save Me is my song, and they were getting it. So I was like, oh, and here, they performed one of the ciphers that I still have not heard, but the vibe was so different than what it's usually like. Like, just the colors, they had the velvet. Usually they have like the in-sync dance moves and the vocals, but this is kind of like, it was more laid back and like chill and cool and fun. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It just had a really different vibe. You could see that they were enjoying it. Because I think Suga said, we didn't come in this to be dancers, although he says he does have faith in his ability to perform now. But he was like, I'm sorry. That's what his name was before, though. He said, Rap Monster and I, we started off as rappers. And then J-Hope was a dancer. But J-Hope even said, the music I listened to when I danced was like more rap and hip hop. So I don't know, so it kind of felt like they were more in their element, if you get what I'm saying. Okay. Oh, so this is when he was talking about what he says this RM may elevate them or make them sad. But he just wants to impact people in some way. That's what he's always wanted to do. By showing his fears or even his sadness, he wants to make an impact so that people see that they're not alone and that everything is okay. My heart. Oh yeah, okay, so this part made me think, wasn't J-Hope originally supposed to be a singer? I think that's what they said in the like intro video, and it always kills me because I'm like, I like his rap voice. It's really cool. It's like, it's unique. I think that's why I love it so much. I love unique voices. And he said that he never rapped before, but they suggested it, and like I said before, he said when he danced, he mainly listened to rap and hip-hop, so he decided to really give it a try. And I love that they all have such different rap styles. Like, RM seems more of like the... Okay, J-Hope has the unique voice, like the... And then RM has like the kind of laid back, like it will just flow when he says it. Like, you know when people are having a rap battle and it just flows. He has that laid back voice, and then Shuka's kind of like the person who feels like he would go in hard, like, and that's why I think it's so cool that they all have such different voices. And then Shuka's talking about how I love his black hair. Anyways, he was talking about how he just wanted to make money in music. He never thought about being famous, but that as he was in BTS, his mindset changed about how he can make better music and how he can give a better performance. Like, being famous was never something he really thought about. And I think that's interesting, because don't we all just want to make money and be successful in our careers? And so that's all he was thinking about. He's like, I just need to be able to provide for myself, but also being able to get my music, which is what I love, out into the world. I don't care about the fame. But then I bet he never expected this to happen. Like, he's in a group and they just blew up. So he had to change his mindset with that change. So now it looks like they have the day off. Some of them went to the aquarium and they played rock, paper, scissors to see who's gonna buy the hot dogs. And Jin lost, and he was practicing how to say how to ask for hot dogs in English, and I was dead. You can even see him in the back of the line, like, mouthing the words because he's in such a long line. So he's back there like, delicious hot dog, can I please have? And I think they wanted him to order like 12 hot dogs. It was so funny. And here's some of them at the aquarium. Who was it? I think it was, is that JK, J-Hope, Jin, and Jimin at the aquarium. And then they went bowling. And then Jin and J-Hope went out to eat for meal. Suga was over there saying how he doesn't need to buy anything, but he was still looking around, so he's totally me. And then look at this, Arm and V had like a little date out together, and look at how stylish they look walking down the street. Doesn't this look like a model advert? It looks like this could be a total model ad that you would see in a magazine. And I don't know what this hat is that J-Hope is wearing, but it's killing me. They're at an arcade now. And then Arm and V went to Panda Express. Like, did any of you like Panda Express? I remember we had it at my school, and I only liked the things that cost $1.25 more to add. So I'd always spend way more money than I wanted to there. Because I don't like when the stuff is like super sweet. I don't know, I'm talking about myself, but anyways. And then they had a day at the beach, and isn't this such a nice shot? Like, I'm going to the beach I'm not talking about myself. Anyways, so then what do we have? So Jin talking about how he lives a satisfied life because he is loved by so many. And he's saying how everyone has worries. Like, there's not a person who doesn't have a worry. There's always going to be something that comes up, but that worry is going to pass, and at some point you're going to be happy again. So you should know that at some point you're going to be happy again. So you need to remain positive, even if you feel stressed or worried. You need to have some part of your mind that remains positive to let you know that everything is going to be okay. You're going to be happy again. And he was saying, at this moment in time, I am happy. And he was just having such a positive outlook. And it was so different from the other episode where, oh my gosh, I never even got to talk about the other episode where he and V had that fight. Oh, I completely forgot. That was the one episode I wanted to talk about. Oh my. Okay, I may go back and do that one because I wanted to talk about that. That was like my heart. And then V was crying and emotions were all over the place. But this is so different from that. The ending too. And then we have Jin trying to get everyone to go eat. And so you know how RM is the leader? This felt like Jin was the big brother. I know he technically is, but I felt it in the scene when he was like, RM, time to go eat. Jimin, come eat. JK, come eat. Because he was talking about how everyone was tired, but the people that aren't will usually try to pep each other up, but you could see that he was also taking care of them, because even if you're exhausted, you need to eat, because your body needs food, it needs the energy, and then when they wake up, they'll be feeling worse than they were when they went to sleep. So he's just trying to make sure everyone, I don't know, it just felt like such a big brother moment. It was so sweet. And then he was playing the guitar, and I think he was playing an acoustic, what was it? Was it Butterfly? I don't remember, but he was playing an acoustic song, and then JK was over there singing, and it was, the combination was so beautiful. Okay. And then J-Hope says that although they may be tired from performing the same show, because they're performing the same show not every single day, but most days, and that can be exhausting, because that's like full, like imagine doing cardio for hours. That's basically what it is every day. That would be so exhausting. But even though they may be exhausted, this could be the fans' first time seeing them perform. So they need to put it on like it's their first show, because they don't want to let them down or not exceed the expectations that the fans had when they bought their ticket. Like, I'm gonna go see BTS perform, and you know their dance moves are blah 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 blah, and then you get there and they're just like So it's like, what I like is like they take the fans into perspective. Like they think about them, because you could be like, I'm sorry guys, I'm so tired, so excuse me, and I'm sure everyone would be like, oh, it's okay, but they're like, no, we need to meet their expectations, because this is what they paid for and this is what they're here for, so we need to give them a better performance. And then we get to kind of see some of their methods of how they deal with the pain. They were like spraying something in their throat, and I think that's the I don't know what it's called, but it's supposed to soothe it, because you know they're singing or rapping all day, and then they're getting their feet iced, and whoever's icing Jin's foot has a really nice hand. It's like more manicured than my hands is. Oh, and then everyone was just dropping truth bombs. I was like, what is happening? JK said that he never worried about anything until after debut. Like, he always thought that they were great. He was like, I always thought that we were outstanding. But then once we debuted, I finally got to see how good other people are, how there are singers that are amazing dancers, amazing performers. And I think he also got to see like the backstage stuff of how hard everyone worked, and that kind of was like a wake-up call to him, like, oh, we may be good, but that doesn't mean we're the best, so we obviously need to work harder than we have been working. And he never felt insecure, but after they debuted, that's when he started to feel insecure, seeing how great other people were. And I think it's kind of like, you know, when you're in high school, or a lot of people are probably still in high school, but when you're in, okay, I'll say elementary, when you're in elementary school and your teachers tell you, oh, you're such a genius, you're so smart, you're brilliant, blah, blah, blah. But then when you get to the next grade, like middle school or something, you see that people are so much smarter than you, because you're not just like in your class, you're mixed with all these other classes, so you get to see everyone else's grades, and you're like, oh, I'm not as smart as I thought. That's what I think it's like. That's what I could relate it to. And that's when he began to feel worried about his future and what he could do. So I think that's when he started to train harder at that point. Because before he was kind of just like, we're good, we're great. But then after that he was like, oh, I see we need to work a little bit. And then I got another shot of his Begin performance, and I need to watch it. It looks so good, and I look like such a mushroom. But anyways, this, like the outfit and the moves and the dancers with him, it just looks so great. And then, so he said he had dance training in the US, which I think I had heard. And he said he came back from dance training in the US and knew that he could dance and perform well, but he never really thought about singing. I didn't know. He said, I really just wanted to dance. Like, I didn't know that. Wasn't he in a singing competition? That just astounded me, because his dancing is like, I think he's one of the top 3 dancers in the group. So that shocked me though. Like, I know he's a good dancer, but I didn't know he wanted to be a dancer. I'm still like just thinking about it. I was like, what? He's the main vocalist now, but he even he. See, I'm getting too excited. I'm rambling or tripping over my words. And he said that Jimin told him that he was crazy and that he needed to work harder. So I can like picture Jimin saying, "You have a great voice. I don't know why you are not pursuing it more or training harder," because I think they're like on two different sides, because JK said Jimin was always training, always in the studio, always in the practice room. And then JK on the other side was like, he didn't really think about it that much. I mean, he went to train in the US and everything, but he was more on the side of not, you get what I'm saying though, right? They were on different sides, like Jimin practicing a lot, JK not practicing as much as he thinks at this point that he thinks he should have at that time. So I can just picture Jimin telling him off. And he felt that he wasn't being ambitious about singing at that moment. But he knows that now, well, he knew that he could dance and perform for the team. He knew that he could do that well. But again, singing just wasn't something. I think I just can't get over that. That's why I keep saying it. I can't get over the fact. Oh my gosh. And then he said, "I never knew I'd become the main vocalist." And he says it like, really, like, I'm dead serious. I did not know that I'd become the main vocalist. He didn't know that he had a great voice because he thought that others' voices were so much better than his. And that once he debuted, he tried harder and was slowly able to improve his voice and become more consistent in his vocals. It's like that thing, my friend was talking to me about this. When you see people who are better than you, it makes you want to try harder. It makes you want to meet their level or exceed their level. And I think that's the situation that he went through at that moment. And I'm glad that he did, because now look at where their group is. He thought they were outstanding before, and then he was like, I think we're not that great, but now it's like a completely different group. It's so new, it's so refreshing. And I think I just watched a thing saying that they made more money than some of the biggest some of the biggest companies last year, and they just came from a small company, so that's amazing. And I think it said that they're one of the only groups within the company that they have like some soloists, but they're the main group. So picture that. That is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. And then Arm said that he never knew that they would perform in a huge place like this in the US, and that even their Korean fans are probably surprised. And this shot is so funny because it looks like he's a celebrity walking down the street trying to be hidden, because he's like in a arena and he has his sunglasses on, but maybe he was super tired, so he was like, well, let me throw these on before giving my interview. Anyways, that is basically all, and that just reminded me that I really needed to do a video for episode 4, because that was I think it's episode 4, that was my favorite episode so far, because it really did get to show something we don't really get to see, like the fight and then the makeup, and he was crying. Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna go watch, what was I gonna watch? I think I'm gonna watch Boy in Love. Okay, so I watched the Spring Day analysis video, and I think it was called like Snowpiercer, Swell Fairy Tragedy, and something else. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I cried. Like, I cried, so I didn't think that I should upload it. So tell me your opinion. Do you think I should just delete that completely from my camera or upload it? But be honest, there wasn't really much talking. I was mainly crying, so. Anyways, bye guys.